Hello and welcome to Nish's Garage, and this is my 2005 Mini Cooper S that I recently purchased about a month ago. Now the reason why I purchased this car is pretty obvious. This car is powered by a Tri-Tech engine made by Chrysler and BMW, which is a 4-cylinder engine. But when you pick the S model, they slap a supercharger on top of it, which is insane according to me. A 1.6 liter engine with a supercharger on top, which makes this car just amazing. This car, according to me, is a hot hatchback. It has about 168 horsepower and about 162 pound-feet of torque, which propels this 2,500 pound car like a rocket. Now you might be wondering why I did not buy an R56 or a later generation Mini Cooper S, and the simple reason is these first gen minis are pretty reliable for what they are. The engine is pretty solid apart from the addition of the supercharger, which makes things a little bit complex if you need to go under the hood and work on your car. The transmission, which this one is a 6-speed manual, is amazing. The shifts are pretty good. It sounds amazing. There is some slop, but considering this car is about 18 years old, 19 years old, that's pretty normal. Now the reason why I specifically picked this car is because of the exhaust. So this does not have the standard mini exhaust with the beer can sticking out the back. This one has an aftermarket MagnaFlow exhaust, but I am assuming with the new exhaust this car at least has another 6 or 7 extra horsepower, which again adds to the already insane amount of power that this car has. Now I don't know if you guys can hear the exhaust in the back, but it has all the right sounds. So how much did I pay for this car? So I paid $3,300 for this car, and I will say that's a pretty good price for a car like this. But however, it does come with a few things that are wrong with mostly any minis of this generation. First of all, there are the oil leaks, which are pretty common with these cars. The valve cover gasket is leaking. I'm pretty sure the crankshaft sensor gasket is also leaking. The power steering, I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with it. There is a lot of power steering fluid leaking out of the hoses, and the power steering, from what I can tell, does not really work properly. One of the things about this car that is going to be hard to fix is the fact that the clear coat is peeling on the front hood and the rear tailgate, which is going to be a lot more difficult to try and repair, but I am going to repair it in the future videos, so please stay tuned for those. Talking about the interior I think, not in terms of material but in terms of looks, is pretty decent looking. The fact that you have color matched door cards, you have color matched dashboard, the seats, which are black and blue, they all look pretty good and they don't look outdated at all. Something I really like about this car is this giant gauge in the middle of the dashboard, which tells you about your engine oil pressure and your engine oil temperature, because they know at some point you're going to lose your oil pressure and your engine is going to go kaboom. So it's good to have this here so I can keep an eye on it whenever I'm driving like crazy, just to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. In terms of power delivery, this car is a pretty smooth curve. It has power starting at about 2000 RPM and lasting all the way up to 6500 RPM, which is amazing. That's one of the benefits of having a supercharged car, is there is no turbo lag, which is amazing. I don't have to wait for the turbo to spool up before I can even use the power that I deserve. And for $3,300 I cannot complain. This car brings a smile to my face every time I drive it. And if that's not enough, the pops and sounds coming out the back are another reassuring feature of this car, that I have made a good investment. It is one of those cars that makes you want to go take it out for a drive on a twisty, windy road and just let it go. Just let the car do its thing, just have full trust in it. It handles like a go-kart, which is just an amazing feeling. Okay, so let's bring this car in the garage and just quickly inspect it, see what's wrong with it, what all I need to order, apart from the things that I already mentioned. So now we have the car in the garage, and now I can talk a little bit more about the imperfections of this car. So first of all, as I talked about the clear coat chipping, as you can see, it is peeling off quite badly. I think if I need to fix this, I'll have to basically repaint the entire front of the hood. Good thing is the chipping only is on the hood. There's nothing wrong with the grille or the front bumper. There is a minor battle scar on this car. I don't know where it came from, but I don't know. I'll try and fix this, but I'm not pretty certain about it. Talking about the brakes, they are pretty bad. There's quite a lip on the brake rotors, and you can feel it whenever you drive and brake. The car just shakes quite a bit. Apart from that, the overall condition of the body is pretty good. There are no dents, no deep scratches, which I cannot fix. I think once we are done fixing the peeling clear coat, a nice polish will make this car really shine. There we go, the same peeling issue in the back. It's kind of hard to see with this light, but you can tell the clear coat is peeling quite badly. And then the rear brakes are the ones which are really worn out on this car. Yeah, there's barely nothing left of the rotor. And then the pads also seem to be in pretty bad condition. Moving into the interior, as I said, the paint matched dashboard pieces and the paint matched door really makes this car and the interior look quite new. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take a look under the hood of this car. Oh, and did I tell you it's a British car made by Germans? So this is technically supposed to be a ride and drive car, so the hood release is on the right hand side. They didn't even bother to put it on the left hand side, which is another quirk about this car. Alrighty, so here we are under the hood of the car, and this is your top mount intercooler, and right under this is where the supercharger sits, right there somewhere. I'm going to perform a supercharger service and possibly put a 17% reduction pulley on it, but that's something I have to think about, and if I do, there will definitely be a video about it. So let's talk about the things that are kind of obvious about this car. So first of all, the left engine mount is leaking oil, which they are prone to, so that needs to be replaced. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get under this car and see what all we can find wrong, and then based on that, I'll order new parts to fix this car. Before I do that, I think I'm going to go change into my garage clothes, and I'll be right back. And did I tell you I really want a garage with a lift? So hopefully at some point in the future I can make that happen. But let's go ahead, crawl under the car and see what's up with it. Clearly there is oil leak. There's a lot of oil that's leaking out of there, so that needs to be fixed. I think it's the valve cover gasket. If I take a look from the top, I can see some sweetness around the valve cover gasket, so I'm assuming that's the culprit here. That's my steering rack right there, which is also leaking. There is some sweetness around it. That's going to be a tough one to fix for sure. I'm hoping that when it comes to the steering leak, it is just a hose and not the steering pump itself being short. Well, technically it's not even a pump, it's just a motor that's run not by the engine but by electricity. So if the motor is bad, that's like a $500 motor. So hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully it's just a few hoses and stuff. I could tell that the fan there is not spinning, so that is something that needs to be fixed as well. There are some folks who made videos about how to diagnose these motors, and if they fail, you can try and clean them up and they might work, but if it's the motor, then we have a lot more to fix. Apart from that, both the CV axle boots seem to be in okay condition, which is good news. I don't know what exactly is going on with this tie rod end. Looks like the plastic piece is on top of the ball joint. Did you guys know this car has a limited slip differential? See what happens if I move this wheel. The other one moves in the opposite direction, which means this has a limited slip differential, which this car did come with, and it was an option, but I think this car is equipped with that, which is something good to have. Okay, with that being said, there is a lot that needs to be done on this car. The steering noise, or whatever is going on with the steering, is kind of concerning. The pads and rotors, the sheer amount of oil leak that's coming out of this car, the paint that's chipping. But all of these are things that you can easily fix. The engine seems to be in pretty good health. There is a lot of power. So stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to go ahead and spend a lot of money buying all the parts to fix this car, and we're going to make sure that we fix everything that's wrong with this car. And if you really like this video and if you want to follow the build of this car, please like and subscribe. And if you know what's going on with the steering wheel, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.